So me and Lowe both have the uh, Suns making the playoffs, right? So you let me get this straight. You have the Blazers making the playoffs as your 7th seed.
No, no, I had the Suns. I had the Suns beating the
Oh,
Portland.
you have the Blazers beating the Clippers. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Thunder
No, no,
versus
no, no,
Blazers.
no,
Who
no. What? No,
you had the
I had.
Clippers winning?
Yeah.
I
What?
thought we
Oh,
all
so
have three had the
we
same.
good.
Yeah,
No, we
we.
good. Okay, we good. We
Yeah,
good. All right, man.
Yeah.
We
man. I'm
can
not you, nigga. I do not have the. no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, bro. No, I had the Clippers, bro.
Okay. So we can skip over the Thunder Clippers. I say 4 games max, 5 games maybe, right? The Suns and Spurs. I think this is a more interesting matchup. It should be a pretty consensus between all of us three. But we're gonna start with you, Lo. Who you got? And how
I
many
have
games?
I have the Spurs winning in like 5. I don't know why. And somebody else told me this. Like, they was like, "Oh, they really make Wemby work." I'm like, I guess. No, I just think, bro, when you go into a series with San Antonio, you don't have ball handling to like a very high level. And you kind of really rely on 3-point shooting and trying to create something from behind the arc with those type of athletes. It's just going to be very, very difficult. I don't see how the Suns even get hot enough to push it more than just 5 games. So I got San Antonio 5.
Okay. Glory, you got and how
I
many
agree with
games?
Low. I don't know why the fuck you said there was gonna be some tough series. No, the
Right.
Spurs are probably the Spurs are probably gonna sweep or get the game in 5 games. I do think that Jordan Ott did throw a really good defensive scheme at Wemby. I believe it was the first time that they faced where they were playing that gap defense and really making Wemby work for everything and making him take long contested twos at the high elbow. But um I think that unless the Spurs have some horrible 3-point shooting slump, right, where like OKC did last year, I don't see this series being that competitive. And even if they do have a bad defensive slump, I think they're that good on the defensive end. They're gonna cause enough turnovers to overcome that. So I had the Spurs in an easy gentleman sweep.
Well, I agree with y'all about the easy gentleman sweep. Right, I have the Spurs in 5, but what I don't agree is that Lowe said that Wimby's not going to have a tough time with them boys over there in Phoenix. So because Wimby against Royce O'Neal is like I believe it's like 33 possessions, and he's shooting below 50 true shooting. So it's not no myth. It's not no them boys be boxing Wimby up. That's what it is.
Mm.
So I don't. That's the thing. They can make it interesting if the others don't show up and the experience kind of riles up for the Spurs, right? And that matchup specifically, I don't think that's going to happen, right?
Hey,
Because
but
what?
sorry, go ahead, finish up.
No. Say what you was going to say.
No, I was gonna ask Low, what do you think about the experience aspect? Because that's a big conversation that we've had on this podcast, and where as it pertains to the Spurs specifically, because we got four out of the top, maybe top 5 players: De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Wemby, and you can count Champagne or Kellen Johnson to haven't played a single minute of postseason play, including not even a playing game. And are you guys are like is does that play a factor and how we assess their performance in the playoffs?
It'll play a factor, just not against the Suns. Like, it's
No.
Phoenix. I hear like maybe I think one of the Wemby had like a really bad game against them early on this season. I would love to see. I don't know how often they played towards the second half of the year, but like I don't even think Wemby has to be that crazy as a offensive player in that series. That is like a stereotypical Wemby can probably, I don't want to say like pseudo Tim Duncan, but he can go out there, average 18 points, and still potentially still be the most impactful player on the floor just off of defense alone. Like, it's going to be really hard for them to like get some stuff off. But yeah, sure, maybe Wemby struggles against Royce O'Neal, boxing him up. But like, I don't think outside of like that potentially developing, I don't really think it matters. Even if San Antonio is like struggling from 3, I just don't think it matters. Defensively alone, they could get them out of it.
What I was saying was like they can make it interesting if Wimby struggles, right? But like you said, I don't think he has to be some great type of player in that series because if I'm looking on the other side and I'm seeing Stephon Castle guarding Devin Booker. He's also struggling in that matchup, right? And I don't trust Devin Booker against top 10 defenses. Devin Booker is 25 points per game and 58 true shooting, right? He's got into this little foul baiting thing that I mean, it's more egregious than it was 2-3 years ago with Devin Booker. I don't know what's going on with him, but like I see a lot of guys on the other end that can just be prone to ball pressure, right? And I think the Spurs are going to really completely clamp them guys over there because their offense is not good. It's not good in the half court. When I watched the game earlier in the season, where it was the Magic versus the Suns, and it was awful. Like completely, I think it was that game where Jalen Green hit the game winner. Like it was awful. The offense was just awful. So, like they're gonna clamp them boys. They're gonna get out of that series in a tight little, close little 5. I'm gonna say Suns scare them a little bit at home. I'm gonna say they scare them a little bit. Like they get a close one, but I say a quick little 5. But we can move on to the meat and potatoes of the West, right? And that is Lowe's team, the Lakers and the Rockets. We're gonna start with you since this is your team. The Lakers versus the Rockets. Who wins and how many games?
To be direct, I think Houston should win in like 6. But
Sure.
if there was a team that as a Laker fan I would want to face in the first round, it would be Houston. I mean, obviously we can't reach second seed to face the Suns or anything like that. But bro, Houston has had like really bad stretches in the second half, lack of offense creation, not passing the ball properly, especially when KD gets hit double. I do think over a stretch of a 7-game series, they're going to start adding the reps up to get better at trying to counter that. So I don't expect them to like struggle. That would be crazy if Durant does for an entire series though. But that outside of that, I like Minnesota would have been a bad matchup for us, like a really, really bad matchup. And then if Denver had fell even further and we faced them in the first round, that would have been a horrible matchup. But I just think off of just defense alone, defense and athleticism, rebounding, they do really, really great even without Adams, just out rebounding us in a lot of our matchups. And on top of that, we don't have Luka or Reeves. And Shams did, I think, just recently, and maybe when this comes out, who knows what the reporting is going to be. But Luka is coming back to kind of get evaluated. But Reeves will be, without a doubt, he won't be available for the entire first round. So unless LeBron can just like do some crazy stuff and push it to a 6 or a 7, and then Luka comes back not 100% to eliminate them, I just don't see how that happens. But I would like to see from a ball handling perspective, what Amin looks like in that series, because I think he's going to need as much reps and opportunities as possible.
Okay. Galore, who you got? How many games? Hold on. We know you was a Laker fanboy a couple weeks ago too before Luka.
No. Luka fanboy. Luka. Okay. Luka mania. It was never Laker mania. Fuck the Lakers. But anyways, I think this series is actually gonna be a close one. Because I don't like the Rockets at all. I think that Ime Udoka is one of the most overrated coaches in the NBA. I think he's done a horrible job. He actually is the reason that we lost that 2022 finals, and I'm not gonna forget about that. And this is a guy who's one of the most incompetent offensive coaches in this league, like easily. I know he doesn't have a lot to work with the Houston Rockets, but the Houston Rockets have looked horrid offensively this season in the half court because of the lack of ball handling. And I think that the Lakers don't have the best defensive personnel, but I think they've shown that they can play like Top likes to say, these gimmicky defenses that could give KD some trouble. If KD's hitting on all cylinders, then I think that's and like obviously the LeBron isn't LeBron of like 5 years ago. Yeah, this is probably going to be what's it called, a done series in 6, but I don't trust that. I don't trust KD to overcome all these horrible off half court offense flaws. I think that the Lakers could pull it out, and I do think that's the scenario that will happen. I think that LeBron could keep this series close enough for Luka to come back and end the series. That's how I got the Lakers.
If Luka doesn't come back, do they still win though?
No.
No.
Okay. I just
no.
No.
I'm kind of. It makes me mad because when I see these people on Twitter or whatever the case may be, right, and they might just be trolls, but like they say stuff like, "Oh, LeBron James, we still got faith we're gonna win the series because LeBron James is gonna lead. We gonna go back gonna go back to because Houston has 4 seed, so we gonna go back to LA 1-1. Luka gonna come back. He gonna save the day, whatever the case may be. I'm like, bro, when you put I don't want to put these type of expectations on a 41-year-old LeBron James. I just don't want to do that because all that ball handling, all that athleticism, all that speed, that ball pressure that they have, right? That youth, it can get to LeBron, especially if it's the on-ball creator, and that's what makes the Lakers so good is because they're half-court offense with all of these guys together, and LeBron's playing in I call it a specialized Aaron Gordon role because he's making catch and shoot threes, attacking closeouts, and scoring at the basket in transition. But now you don't have those guys. So now even though LeBron's been playing honestly well as an on-ball creator, their number one guy, right? In a playoff series, one thing Houston is good at is defense. On the other side of the floor is where they suck. And they can't really create anything.
I don't even think they're that good at defense. I don't think that they're like especially since they lost Steven Adams and they don't have the second chance opportunities that he provided. I don't think that this defense is all that. I don't.
I think the defense is really good. All the metrics show me.
I don't know what.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna go that far.
I'm not saying they're not still a top 10 defense. I'm talking about like where they were defensively in the beginning of the season and where they are now. I think that's two different levels because of the rebounding.
You don't think they're gonna look just better defensively because the Lakers will lack shot creation?
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. 100%. I just don't want us to get it fucked up like the Rockets or some elite defense or not. They can be figured out.
Don't worry. The next round they ain't gonna get too far. So
by the way, Galore, don't try to because I know what you try to do, right? When we talk about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander versus Luka Doncic, you're gonna, oh my gosh, Oklahoma City, right? Oklahoma City didn't have a tough run. They played all season, right? Shai played all season, all 64 games. I'm gonna say all the 64 games that they won. This is the moment they've been playing for to get this easy run to the championship. That's what they get to sleepwalk first 2 rounds.
They do
sleepwalk.
They do.
Hey man, I just listen. I think that is they put themselves in position to for this, but if I think the Lakers were healthy, I think they would give everybody a run for their money. But that's just me personally. That's just me personally. That's just me personally.
Let me ask you.
That's just me personally.
Completely healthy. With the Lakers beat the how many games? We
were losing 5 against the Thunder, bro.
Thank you,
bro.
Thank you.
No. Listen. The OKC Thunder definitely have dominated the Lakers this season, absolutely. But I think
we would have to face them in the second round.
Yeah, I think they would lose, but I think it would be a 60. I don't think it would be a sweep. I don't think it would be a sweep. I just don't.
Little 5, get them boys.
Do you think we would have beat San Antonio? Because hypothetically speaking, let's just say we kept the 3rd seed because Luka and Reed stayed healthy, so Denver doesn't overtake us.
I think that the reason why I asked you the experience question earlier is because I think that's a series that would lean in Lakers' favor because of the drop. Listen, because of the drop coverage that the Spurs play, the deep drop coverage they play with Wemby. I think they have enough mid-range shooters that can come off the pick and roll to make it competitive. And also the Spurs 3-point shooting, I don't believe in at all. You can believe in Devin Vassell and all these fake ass shooters like Harrison Barnes and fucking depending on De'Aaron Fox and fucking Stephon Castle, to consistently hit their 3-point shots. I don't believe in that. I don't. And I've been consistent on this Spurs. I've been consistent on this low. I don't think the Spurs are going to go to the conference finals if everybody was healthy. I don't think so.
Okay. Let me hold on. So,
we'll find out though. They'll probably play the Nuggets. They'll probably play the Nuggets in the second round.
The Nuggets for sure.
Okay, yeah.
The Lakers, man.
Okay, so what I keep trying to explain to him is experience only matters when a team is neck and neck or a team is a little bit worse. Experience don't matter when a team is up here and the other team is down here. The Lakers are down here. The Spurs are up here. Right?
I think you're overestimating how good the Spurs are. To be honest, I think everybody is.
Oh my God!
I think everybody is. I think they're a year away. I think that, and honestly, I don't know why you're talking because I've been high on the Spurs. You were the one that was saying they were going to be in the play-in. Who said there was going to be a top 5 seed? Moi.
Who said that?
Me. I said that they were going to be a top 5 seed before the season. Yes.
He said
I
he
mean,
thought that they were going to
he said they
play.
were going to be in the play-in. Yes. He said they were going to be in the
Man, you
AC.
just hate it from day one, man.
Exactly. Just what
That's
everybody. So
crazy.
so so when I talk about the Spurs, I'm talking with objectivity. I absolutely think this team has done this season has been phenomenal, but I think that there's a lot of flaws that they have that is not going to go in their favor in the postseason. They've been able to get away with in the regular season. I think I've seen this play way too much. Like we've never seen a team that this inexperienced go to the finals or in this type of conference. In this type of conference, yeah, I don't believe in it. No, no, no,
Okay,
I
okay.
don't.
We can. This is the best series in the first round. We're gonna start with you, Galore. Nuggets and Wolves. Who you got and how many games?
I don't think. First of all, I don't think this is the best series. But I got the Nuggets, man. I got the Nuggets. I think that this the Nuggets in terms of where they have been in the last couple of weeks. They finally been able to get everybody almost healthy. Aaron Gordon, I know Aaron Gordon's still dealing with his hamstring injury, but I think that the Timberwolves have had the Nuggets number for the last couple of years. But this is the best roster the Nuggets have had in the last couple of years, in my opinion, since 2023. And I think that they'll be able to get over the hump. It's probably going to be a 6-7 game series, just knowing how these two teams match up. But I think that what the Nuggets for offensive firepower, especially if Jamal Murray is translating, they've been able to take the Timberwolves 7 games with Jamal Murray dropping like a stripper. You know what I mean? If he translates or even rises in this series, I think the Nuggets can win comfortably in 6.
Okay, who you got?
I also got Nuggets in 6. I agree that like who the Nuggets have been in the last like 10 to 15 games of the year is really who they actually are. They've been dealing with injuries the entire season. Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown, Peyton Watson have been out. Jokic has missed games as well. And then, I think Minnesota's filled with a bunch of frauds too. Like I don't really believe Minnesota is a real team. Rudy Gobert is going to have to start making something besides those BS fadeaway jump shots he did last year. That's just not real. It's not really sustainable. Randall has been horrible, and I do mean horrible.
Mm,
In the second half of this
mm,
season, he's been like terrible.
mm,
Um, I do like the sumo though. I love that addition. I actually do think it provides them with far more versatility offensively that Ant is going to need in a series like that. But I just think this is like the best version of Denver that I think they've ever put around Jokic. And when everyone is healthy and going, and then you got the clicking of the 2-man game with that third option with Aaron Gordon and who he's become, bro, it's just a team that you're gonna have to beat. And I think that's going to be a tough out. I think it's going to be a very interesting series. But
I'm drinking my drink, man.
go ahead and go, man. Go ahead and go. I
Hey,
got
by the way,
Denver.
hey,
It's
by
good,
the
by the
way,
way.
you're talking. Listen, Lo. What you're about to hear, I'm letting you know. It's not an act. It's really him. It's
It's
really
real.
him.
It's real.
So when you
Everything I do is authentic.
all right, Top, go ahead, bro. Let's get ready, Lo.
Come on, man. We got Ant. We got J Mac. I don't care who you pick. Wolves in 6, man. That's who it is. That's who it is. It's Wolves in 6. Y'all boys gotta stay asleep. Y'all do this every single year. Y'all did it last year, right? Y'all did it with the Lakers. Lakers in 5. That's all I heard all year, right? Y'all did it last year, the year before, right? With the Suns. Oh my gosh, Kevin Durant, they got Book, they got Bill. We swept them boys. They did it again with the Nuggets. Oh, they got Jokic, they got Murray, they won the championship. Got them boys out in 7. We are gonna beat them again. We're gonna do it again, Lo. We're gonna do it again. And I tried to tell the Lord, right? This little fugazi little streak y'all believe, bro. This little 8-game win streak is not real. It's fluky.
Oh my god.
Hold on, Lo. Hold on. Tell me right here. Tell me right now, right? In the last 8 games that they won, right? This the biggest win streak of Jokic's career, right? And it's crazy. But look,
it is crazy.
But besides the Spurs, name one one real actual team that's good that they beat.
Didn't they? Well, you probably know this because I can't remember if the Lakers was healthy or not when they beat us.
No, you beat them in overtime.
Okay. Because I thought they played us another time.
Nope.
I think you're right. I think the only like good team is what you call it.
So y'all move by this Fugazi street. I seen them when I deep dive into this matchup. I'm like, okay, I see the Jazz twice. I see the Grizzlies twice. I see the Raptors in there. They're fugazi. Nobody's moved by the Raptors, right? Like, bro, like we're not. You know what I'm saying? We're not moved by this little 8-game streak, right? And Aaron Gordon has astronomically dropped off as a defender. Their defense is horrible. Their defense is awful, awful. And guess what? They cannot guard us. They can't guard us. And all I hear is, okay, Nikola Jokic. We're like, that's the game plan. We're gonna let Nikola Jokic get off, right? He's going, like, there's a reason why in our past matchups, right? Jokic has 60-point triple doubles, 40-point triple doubles, 40 points, this, that, on an elite efficiency, but we still win. Because guess what? The way you guard the Nuggets is you shut off one or the other. And the story of this matchup is to shut off Jamal Murray's water. And we do that. Against Jaden McDaniels, Jamal Murray does not show up ever. Against Ayo Dosunmu, and for the past 2 seasons, I looked at the data, right? He's averaging 10 points per game in 69 possessions on like 40 true shooting. Ayo Dosunmu puts him in a box too. Now, if you asked me before we got Ayo Dosunmu and before Bones Highland started playing well, before we got Kyle Anderson, I would have told you, okay, Nuggets would probably beat us, right? But now the addition of these guys, our bench is for real now. That was the question. That was the question mark for us. Like, our bench, we lost Nikhil. Our bench production is terrible. But now look at Bones, right? His ascension, right? And it's a get back matchup for him too. We ready. Look at Nas Reed. He's had a terrible second half of the season, but we'll get him back, right? We'll get him back, right? Terrence Shannon Jr., look at the way he's been playing. He's hitting at the right time, right? Ayo Dosunmu, we're putting Jamal Murray in a box. We're letting Jamal Murray Jokic, get off. Get off. We're going to put Rudy Gobert on one of these non-shooters. Christian Brown is a terrorist. We're not worried about him. We're not worried about Christian Brown.
You say you're gonna put Gobert on a non-shooter?
Yeah.
So
that's what we always do.
Randall is guarding Jokic.
Yeah. We do it all the time. You can go.
That's what I said. Hey, look. Yeah. That's what I said.
No. Glory, we can, like I said, we can pull up the film. We always guard Randall with Jokic. Just
yeah, you have him shadowing. Yes, you have him shadowing, but the entire game.
Sure. And not the entire game.
Not the entire game.
Yeah.
There's times where Gobert does go on him, and I think Gobert. I actually do think Gobert's done a really good job on him. What is the season series?
The series.
Yeah.
The season series this year they're up 3-1. But like I said, I'm not really before we got Ayo Dosunmu, like when we got Ayo Dosunmu belt at home, and that was like a playoff game. They needed that win because that was when we were both tied for the 3 seed. And people are gonna look at the Wolves' schedule and say, okay, they didn't even win 50 games. But guess what? I think it was you can go back to March 21st, right before Anthony Edwards got injured, because the game after that we played the Celtics. And we beat the Celtics. The Lord help. We beat the Celtics. Bones Highland. That's when he learned about Bones Highland and AO. But we've had the same record as the Nuggets. Until this little fugazi 8-game streak where they blew past terrible teams, Anthony Edwards got hurt. Jaden McDaniels got hurt. And then our offense plummeted to the bottom of the earth. We have the 28th ranked offense over the past 2 weeks. But guess what? But guess what has returned? That defense, right? We're playing like a top 3 defense against top 10 defenses. We're like our top 10 offenses were like top 5 and a half court on defensively, right? Because we're ramping things up, and that's what they do. They ramp it up defensively, and they look like one of them teams again. The only reason is because Ant's out, and people don't realize how much Ant's floor raising this roster. We don't have a lot of guys who are really great offensively. It's Anthony Edwards. He's one of the best half-court suppressor scorers in the NBA. It's Shea, and then you could probably go Luka, and you could probably go Anthony Edwards. Against top 10 defenses, Anthony Edwards averages 31 points per game. That's more than his season average on 65 true shooting. 65 true shooting, Lo. You heard that? And that's the majority of his points coming in the half court. He's not no transition scorer, even though I think he needs to add that, right? But he's not a transition scorer. But the reason why I believe in this matchup now is because they can't guard us. We can put Randall at the 5. Randall against Nikola Jokic guarding him. I think it's 72 or 73 possessions, something like that, right? When Jokic is guarding Randall, he's 62 true shooting, killing him every time.
But they'll put Aaron Gordon on him. They'll put Aaron Gordon on him and just use Jokic to roam off of Gobert.
No, but thing is, okay, that's the question mark in this series. Like, how much does Gobert play? Because they're gonna be forced to play this little gimmick defense, right? Now, you know the little gimmicky defense. They run the same thing against Oklahoma City, and I don't know why people believe in the Nuggets, right? They're frauds. They're fraudulent.
Ah!
That's what they are. I'm telling you, they're fraudulent. Because look, even if they beat us, right? And I don't think y'all are crazy to say that
Even if they beat us. Okay.
Yeah, if they beat us, right? Because I don't think it's crazy. They can beat us in 6 or 7. We can beat them in 6 or 7, right? I think it's going to be a really tough series. But if they were to get to Oklahoma City, they don't stand a chance. I don't care how many games it goes. Because when you get into this gimmicky defense, and it's super gimmicky, right? You put 2 on the ball, you send ghost blitz, you send all type of sideline traps to try to get shit off his game because they can't guard him one-on-one. It's not last year, right? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you've seen the game, 15 assists, 0 turnovers, because he's gotten better, right? Look, they're gonna blitz Ant just like they did a couple weeks ago in the beginning of March 1st. They're gonna blitz him at half court. We put Randall or Nas Reed at the 5. It's pocket pass. We playing 4-on-5 every time. Every time. And
how well is your defense when Gobert's off the floor?
It's bad. That's what I'm saying.
Oh man.
But then it comes.
Hold on, Tom. Let him. Hold on. Before we get to the Shea on versus the Nuggets, let Lo talk about the Wolves because I want to hear this, bro.
No. I'm all for it. I agree that the series gonna be close. I just bro, I don't know, bro. Because even when they take Gobert off, then the defense is gonna be bad. I agree that Aaron Gordon's not the same defender. But Ant this year defensively has definitely dropped. He not the same.
Boo boo.
You also don't have Nikhil either. And so I agree with Ayo though. Ayo is like a far better player. Let me first say this. The record of the Wolves is not a representation of how good they are. And I think everyone knows that. Everyone knows that they are clearly better than a 49-win team. Mm-hmm. I also think, however, most people believe that the Nuggets are better than a 53 or 54-win team as well. So the record aside, we all know that everybody dealt with injuries. It's at the end of the day, I just don't, like you said, offensively, bro, it's a lot to ask Ant to do for a 7-game series against a team that has added far more counters, because what you're saying is true about how y'all beating them. And the Nuggets are like struggled, but like y'all are facing them in the first round. If it was a second or third, when Aaron Gordon and MPJ then wore down a little bit, now they not 100% healthy, and you can capitalize off of that. Bro, facing the Nuggets in the first round, bro, that's the reason why I ain't want to do that shit. That's crazy, bro.
That's what crazy. Lo, that's what I was trying to get him to understand. Like the Nuggets, number one, like the last couple of years has risen in the playoffs defensively. Even though they haven't been the best defensive team this season, they rise in. That's a fact. That's a fact. Is it not a fact, Lo?
But they're still going to be the worst defense. Well, maybe the Lakers, but they're still going to be the worst defense of the crowd of teams we're talking about.
Sure.
Them raising from a bottom 10 defense, like I would hope so. Like they're one of the worst defenses.
But I think they're head and shoulders above everybody else offensively though. And I think that's the difference. I think that's the difference maker. And listen. By the way, the Spurs, the Nuggets, when they played the Spurs, right? If they lost that game, they could have played the Lakers in the first round, I believe, or they could have played someone else in the first round if they lost, I believe. So they chose the Rockets. They could have played the Rockets in the first round if they just sat their starters and just could basically trying to drop that game. Yeah. But they won intentionally. You know why? They want Minnesota in the first round. They want Minnesota in the first round.
Now that's OD. Everybody wants Houston. Everybody wants Houston.
Houston is nice, but what I'm telling you is that the Nuggets are just going to be too much offensively, and you're going to have to be banging on two things to go in your way. I'll give Ant the benefit of the doubt to perform well. Sure. We'll give him that, right? Because I don't think the personnel for the Nuggets have for Ant is the best. I think there's going to be much more team defense involved, a lot of different coverages, a lot of gap defense, just making Ant guess at every move. But there's not. If the Timberwolves last year, I just Finn showed me that he is not that coach that can get you over the hump. I don't think Finch is a good coach. I think that he's gonna lose the chess battle with Adelman, and I think last year is a perfect example. Hey, Lo, you guys remember the game that the Timberwolves the Timberwolves blew out the OKC Thunder? You remember that game in last year's Western Conference Finals, right? What did the Timberwolves do really well in that game offensively to get Ant going? They gave him the ball and momentum going downhill into the decision making, make those quick decisions, right? And what did they do the next couple of games? What did they do the next game, Lo? Completely went away from it.
Went away from that, yeah.
Exactly.
I
So
do remember them. I do remember them doing that actually.
exactly. So what I'm asking you is, do you truly believe in number one Finch to make the proper adjustments and to outcoach Adelman, and number two, do you trust Julius fucking Randle in a series to be the personnel for Nikola Jokic? Yeah, you got it, bro.
Here's the thing, though, bro. I know Finch is not a good coach, and I want him fired. But the thing about it is that I don't care about him in this specific matchup, bro. Like Chris Finch is a I don't know what gets in his brain when he plays the Nuggets, but he's a mastermind, right? Because the like I said, right, and we can go more into the matchup data, right? You shut down one of them, you have a chance to win, right? That's what Finch leans into, and it's not just him against the Nuggets; it's him against everybody, and that's why we lose against the Thunder because Finch doesn't adjust to the team that the matchup we're playing, right? The specific game plan that we have defensively for this matchup works. Against Oklahoma City, it doesn't. Like if you see the difference between the Lakers and the Thunder last year, the reason why we beat the Lakers is because we guard Luka one on one and we switch heavy, right? We're gonna switch a lot in the playoffs. We're gonna guard him one on one. Against Shea, we can't do that because if you switch and you guard him one on one, there was plenty of times where you seen Dante on him, you seen an Ant on him, you see a Randall on him in spot minutes, you see a Reed on him. We can't do that because he's like a great isolation scorer. Last year, Luka was fat. We all know that. He was terrible in isolation. We were comfortable switching Gobert on Luka, but we cannot do that on Shea. We were picking up Luka full court, wearing him down for the fourth quarter. He was terrible in the fourth quarters. Shea getting us in foul trouble, right? Because he's a different type of archetype. He's slithery, right? He gets underneath you. He was drawing fouls.
Okay, Top. Listen, Top. I got just a simple question for you. Stand on it. How many games is the Timberwolves going to beat the Nuggets? Yes, sir. Like what? How many games?
6 games. 6 games.
All right, let's move on because you're gonna keep embarrassing yourself because this series is not gonna go the way you think it is.
But here's another point.
This series is not gonna go the series the way you think it is.
Here's another point. So Chris Finch, right? His scheme is based off of we want to take away the three, right? And that shows in the numbers, the frequency, right? We hold the opponents to the lowest 3-point frequency in the NBA, right? So the Nuggets, their superpower is their 3-point shooting. They shoot the
No, it's their half court sets in their P&R with Murray and Jokic.
Are they not one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the league?
Yeah, but they attempt at the bottom though. Their frequency is already at the bottom.
They're they prioritize. Yeah, they prioritize getting quality looks because of Jokic and Murray.
Yeah, and we're gonna take them looks away from them. We're gonna tell Jokic to play 1-on-1.
But the quality looks that they rely on, it doesn't have to be threes though. That's the concept of a Jokic led offense is just to get the best shot, period, regardless of volume or not. Because the Nuggets have never really been a high volume 3-point shooting team. They've been accurate, but they've never really evolved.
And last year when they were a terrible 3-point shooting team, they had the highest production in terms of cuts. Like they were getting all their money within backdoor cuts and stuff. I know but I'm saying that's how like they create quality looks. Like no matter they can be anywhere from the court. If it's a three, it just happens to be a three, then they'll take it. But they don't prioritize that. And that's not something that they're probably going to be a difference maker in a series, bro. Listen, I think it's going to be a good series, but we're going to see. I know the bias in you doesn't want to give it up, but you gonna come to realize it, bro. Let's just move on, bro.
It's not biased because I really believe it, but we can keep moving on. But like I said, if the Wolves lose, y'all can blitz me. It is what it is.
You're getting blitzed. You're getting blitzed.
I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna listen to I was wrong. I'm gonna say it because I'm not gonna say I was biased because I don't think I'm being biased. I genuinely believe we're gonna beat them. It's gonna all
and that's sad. That's gonna be disappointing for you.
Who's gonna stop who the most? And I think the Nuggets had no capabilities of guarding us. 0. But we get
and I give you.
And
Randall,
they can't guard either Sumo or Bones Island transition as well because they're a terrible transition defense. And one thing that allows us to be better in this matchup is our unpredictability now. We're not just this crazy isolation half-court scoring team because of the addition of Ida Sumo and because of the addition of Bones.
Hey, look, I've never seen someone explain this much into detail on a series they believe so much in. I've never heard that in my life.
Hey, I'm
Bro
doing my
gave us a
homework,
full
bro.
analysis just to make us believe what you believe, bro. Next series, bro.
Hey,
Next
no,
series,
don't lie
bro.
though. I make a good argument though.
No,
Like
next series,
No,
bro. I
because
think
you're not addressing Randall, and you know Randall's going to
I
attempt the
dress
second.
Randall. No. I dress Randall.
He's going to attempt the second most shot on that team.
No,
When
that's
he
fine though. Look,
that's fine. What?
Randall in the Spurs matchup and Randall in the Thunder matchup, I'm worried. But in this specific matchup with Jokic guarding him, I have no fears. I have
said
zero
Jokic is guarding
fears.
him. Jokic is guarding him? What makes you think Jokic is going to be
In
guarding him?
5 minutes, yes, he will be
But
guarding him.
even if Jokic is guarding him, unless I like you said, it's Gobert. How many minutes of Gobert and Randall will be sharing the floor? Because at that point, offensively, your
You're cooked.
concerns
We're
are
probably
way
gonna be awful. Yes, we're
more.
gonna be awful.
Hey, bro, hold on. What's the next series, bro? What's the next series, bro? Let's move
But
on,
hold on,
bro.
let me ask you a question, and we're gonna move on. Lo, let me ask you a question. So, if we were to take Gobert off the floor, and he's like, Finch has no problem with pulling him off the floor. Right?
Yeah.
In the specific matchup, there's no problem with that. Tons of coaches have.
Again, like against the Lakers, yeah.
So not the Lakers, but say if
No, he did it last year against the Lakers. He pulled him out for Nas.
I don't remember that, but I mean, say if we put Randall at the 4 and we put Nasri at the 5, and we start running action between Randall and Anthony Edwards. So now when they're putting two on the ball, Anthony Edwards all he has to do is make a pocket pass. Now Randall's playing 4 on 5.
The one thing that be pissing me off is the nut teams don't do that against Jokic, because that really do piss me off. But when that happens, I'm not denying that y'all offense would be better. But then it's just, what are you giving up? Then defensively, y'all might get so worse, because effectively what you're trying to argue is that without Rudy Gobert on the floor, that you think offensively y'all are going to be able to keep up with a Jokic-led offense.
I do.
Man, God, come on, bro. You believe that?
No, because I'm telling you, we are going to shut down Jamal Murray. I'm not worried about Jamal Murray. I'm not. He's the least of my worries. He's going to drop.
You wouldn't even have to,
again.
but that's not who you would have to worry about at that point.
Ooh,
because if Jokic, because if Gobert is not on the
Jokic
floor,
can get off. Jokic can get off. That's what.
And so you think then at that point you're generating as many quality looks and offensive possessions as Jokic as a primary scorer without Gobert on the floor
on an island.
No. Jokic in our matchup has been an elite scorer, like crazy scorer, and we still win. Jokic had a 60-point triple-double, and we still won the game because Jamal Murray is going to drop. And that's why they have no chance against OKC, because they do good on both of them.
None of these teams got a chance against OKC.
But. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, next net, bro. Come on, bro. I'm tired, bro. I'm tired of this, bro. I'm so tired. I can't wait for these niggas to get first round exit so I can laugh at you. I can't wait, bro. I can't wait. But let's move on, bro.
We can move on. We can go quick with the playing matchups in the East. Who do you got going in the playing the 9-10 matchup with the Hornets, the Heat, and the 76ers, and also the Orlando Magic? We start with you, Laura. Who you got in those matchups?
Now let Lo go first.
Just so y'all both know, it's already been Embiid has been ruled out. So
yeah, we already know. Yeah, man, per usual, nigga, per usual.
Which sucks, because I actually do think they would have been a very interesting if they fell to like 8 and they had to go against the Pistons. That would have been very interesting. I will say this though, they might still be able to get the 8th seed, or they might be able to make the playoffs just because how bad Orlando is, because Orlando's been terrible. Actually, I'm gonna go as far as say I actually do think they'll still beat Orlando. That half court offense with Paolo this season has been terrible. Sure, Franz is back, but they're gonna have to like make decisive decisions down the stretch and make their shots. They've just been terrible. Orlando's been terrible, and their defense has really dropped. Even with what's his name back when Franz is there, their defense has just been really, really bad, or not as good as it was before. And then they have a hard time just staying in front of a lot of like quick guards at times, especially when you have a 4 or 5 that stretches out the floor. Orlando's going to go. Philly's going to go in that series with Edgecombe and Maxey and Paul George playing like the best offensive perimeter they've had all season long. So I do think they'll be able to pull that off. And then 9-10, man, it's going to be interesting because it's hard to deny what Charlotte's been doing for the second half of the year. They've just been amazing. They've been one of the better teams. I might lean towards Charlotte just shooting them out, Miami out of a game. I just don't know if Miami's going to be able to keep up with them. And my gut is telling me Charlotte will beat Orlando. My gut is telling me Charlotte will beat Orlando and Philly, but it is a 1 game sample size. I'll say Charlotte beats Orlando, and then we get Philly at 7, Charlotte at 8.
Okay, and for me, Charlotte after the Wolves would probably be my second favorite team in this year's playoffs. So both of the teams, both of the teams are rooting for it. Don't go in the first round, but yeah, the Hornets. Something scares me about the Heat though. I think it's like the culture thing about it as well. Like they, like I've seen Tyler Hero on his previous matchups. He just kills the Hornets for some odd reason. So I see Heat fans talking about on Twitter like they want them to lose apparently because they want a lottery pick because they know this team has just been mediocre for years. But the Hornets, yeah, I just like their 3-point shooting. I actually just made a video on them, so I deep dive into them. LaMelo Ball, sneaky, one of the best offensive engines in the whole entire NBA. Like he's raising this offense to +10 levels when he's on the floor. So I think if you get them on a hot night, hopefully they will be hot against the Miami Heat. Then they get out of that one. But the Heat just scare me with Eric Spoelstra and like their just continuity. Some of them, the culture of it all. Like they're a pretty decent switching defense. I just think their offense is gimmicky, right? Like they don't run ball screens. They just run a whole bunch of isolation, pass, cut, screen away, and that offense only works for a certain type of personnel. Like the Celtics, yeah, it can work for a team like them because they have the personnel to do it. The Heat, not so much. So I think if you just hold your own and guard in space, you'll be all right against the Heat, right? Unless they're just turning you over. The 76ers Magic, I don't want to say I was high on the Magic, but I was like in the middle because I didn't really know about them yet. Like I was telling people, we haven't really seen them completely healthy. Like we haven't seen Franz, Paolo, Suggs on the floor. We haven't seen all these guys on the floor together, so we don't know what we're going to get from them. Same thing with the Sixers, right? And now that you're saying Embiid's out, it's kind of scaring me, but I think Maxey got something for him, right? I think the Magic can sometimes struggle guarding speed creators, and I think that even though Maxey, we talked about that in the last video about us, Maxey not being on the All NBA second team, he's had a terrible 2026, right? And he's been, up and down the whole entire year. But I think when you get a Maxey that's on, especially without Embiid, because when Embiid's off the floor, he's a good player, even though their offense is terrible. He's still a good player. And I like the Sixers in that matchup. I think, they had a guys like the wing defenders to guard Franz Wagner, to guard Apollo Banker, like a Paul George. He could have been second team on defense. Like if he had a whole year worth of work, right? You got Kelly Oubre, you got BJ Edgecombe. They got so many perimeter defenders that you can't throw on guys like them. So I would take the Sixers in that matchup to beat the Magic and to get out of there. The Hornets. I think that the Hornets are just going to outscore them, outgun them. All right, the Magic just don't have enough. Like you say, they're a terrible half-court offense. Like they're awful. So I don't like that combination in a playoff situation, in a playing situation at all.
Yeah, I agree with the both of you. Not to that you guys hit all the points on the nail. The only thing I would say is, I think the 76ers, like bro, Orlando just lost to the main Celtics, bro. We just had we had Ron Harper Jr., Luka Garza, and Baylor Shireman all drop damn near 30 points on them. This team is horrid in the half court, bro. It's bad, and we might have to. I think Jamal Mosley's been the coach for the Magic since 2021, correct? I think we might have to have a serious. I think we might have to have a serious conversation about his job in the next couple of years. This offense, this is the best.
This year,
I'm gonna say not the next couple of months.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Oh, okay.
since the last 3 years, right? This is the best offense that the Orlando Magic has had. Guess where it ranks? The 19th best offense this season, right? The last couple of seasons they've ranked 22, 27, and 29, bro. Like this offense is horrid, bro. They're also gonna have to make a decision between Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero. Also, they're gonna also have to discuss about that as well, especially with Paulo's new contract hitting next year. So I think the 76ers get it. I think that defensively, the Orlando's a bad matchup because they are zone reliant. They play a lot of 2-3 zone, which is probably going to be a perfect defensive scheme for Orlando, who cannot shoot the ball outside of anybody outside of Bane. And or the Hornets. I think the Hornets bliss the Heat. I think that their offensive firepower is going to be way too much unless the Heat are able to win, like able to win the on the boards, and just I basically out physical the Hornets, because that is one of their biggest weaknesses, is also turning over the ball. Outside of that, if they make sure that they maintain a good turnover to assist ratio, and also play good defense, I think that they can easily get by the Heat. And I obviously got the Hornets beating the winner of those two. So yeah, we're all on the same page.
Okay, we can jump right into the playoff scenario. So we all have the Hornets making the eighth seed, and we all have the 76ers right at the seventh seed. How many games and who wins in the Pistons Hornets series, Galore?
Cade, bro, it's all dependent on Cade, in my opinion. I think that Cade looked good in the both the Bucks game and against, I think it was against Charlotte he played. I thought he played really well. When he was on the minutes restriction, I think he played around 26 minutes, but he looked like he was playing pretty efficient. Making good decisions, not turning over the ball, and he didn't look too gassed for obviously on 26 minutes we can't gauge it too much, but if Cade is like fully healthy, or at least in like 90% of themselves, I think the Pistons can win this just because of their defense alone. I think they have the best interior defense in the league right now. I think that they have amazing defensive personnel for
Hold
for
on, whoa! Did you just say the Pistons have the best interior defense in the NBA?
yeah, they have the lowest field goal percentage at the rim. They have great interior
Is
defense.
that true?
Yeah. I mean, I could double check after this, but I think that the Pistons defense is
What
going
you
to
said?
be.
It's not the Wolves.
No. Because I'm thinking like this, the Thunder, the Spurs. Like, am I tripping?
Nah, bro. I think
Oh,
I think the Pistons. I mean, y'all can. I can double check that, but I think the Pistons defense is.
I'll double check it right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Pistons defense is going to be the difference maker in this series, and I think that their physicality, and their ability to cause turnovers, I think that they're literally the worst matchup for the Pistons in terms of stylistically, um, and I think that the Pistons can pull that out in like 6 games. I'll say 6 games
Okay,
if Cade's
well, you
healthy. If
got
it's not, if Cade's not 100%, and he drops like a stripper like he did against the Knicks, the Hornets are probably gonna win. But if Kate's healthy, which I'm gonna assume, I got Pistons in 6.
he'll be all right.
It
He'll be all
is
right.
it is OKC, and then it's Spurs. But the difference is, this is Basketball Reference 0 from 3 feet. But the difference is Spurs is 66.3 to Pistons 66.6. And so there may have been like a day where you saw it where it was that way, but it's and the difference between Detroit and OKC is literally 1%. So there
Yeah,
might have been a day where you saw it where it was that.
yeah,
I also have Detroit. I do get a bit concerned with LaMelo as an offensive engine trying to create against like physical defenses and getting up under him and then trying to like really create separation. And he's like really the only other true ball handler, passer, playmaker on his team, which then is going to hurt everybody else offensively. Cade is going to be very, very, very important to what this team is trying to accomplish on the offensive side. But to be fair, shout out to Jalen Duran. Like he's like really pieced together some really good games in Cade's absence and being a creator. And they probably could just win off of sheer defense. That's why I'm leaning a little bit more 6 for Pistons. But if they do, if Charlotte gets hot and they can get hot and Melo may surprise a few people, they're going to make that very, very interesting. I actually believe that is, in my opinion, that is the most either not the most or second most interesting matchup in the first round. To be fair, Denver and Minnesota is up there as well, but yeah, I think that's the most interesting one.
yeah.
And
I
then
agree.
I don't know if I'm supposed to go, but Boston and Philly, Boston is gonna win in like 4 games.
Yeah, that's why I didn't even address it. I didn't even address
Yeah,
that,
I don't
bro.
even. I think,
Hey, hey,
and to be
you,
honest with you, I don't even think Embiid helps him out that much in that series. I actually
hey,
think he
you
might
know,
be.
you know who said that the Magic would be a bad matchup for us, then it might cause some, havoc for the Celtics in the first round. So just take a wild guess of who said that.
I'm assuming. I'm assuming top day. That's. I'm assuming so.
But he hopped off the
Oh,
train real quick. He hopped off the train. We said that
yeah, I
in
did. No, no,
last
no.
week's podcast, and in 1 week after the main Celtics beat them, he was like, "You know why I might have been wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I might have been wrong after the main Celtics had to put a BTA on them niggas."
Well, here's the thing, right? I was wrong about the Magic, and I admit my wrongs. I was wrong about them. Like I said, I wasn't too high on them. I just thought they were a little bit questionable. Like I just didn't know their ceiling, right? I just didn't know it. But Jamal Mosley he's bad. Like he's awful. I watched a lot of their film. He's terrible. But the Hornets, like I said, like that. Other than probably the Wolves and Nuggets, I think that's a team, a matchup for me that's interesting. Like stylistically, like y'all were saying, y'all hit the nail on the coffin. Is that like this team, if they get hot, right, they can get hot and they can maybe win a couple of games. Like because they're gonna win one at home, but they got the crowd behind them. They just making every single shot they got. It's like they got 2K Zins on them. Like you don't know what they shoot. It's just all going in. But like the physicality of it all, right? Like the Detroit Pistons, I seen this matchup a couple nights ago. Actually, like I'm just watching LaMelo Ball kind of drop. Kanubu can't really create for himself. Like they just don't have a lot of isolation scores, right? They have a good amount of PNR guys, right, and a lot of guys who really feed off of LaMelo Ball's ball handling. But when you see a switching defense and like 45% of your shots are threes, and you don't really have any 2-point scores, right? And I think that should be the point of emphasis for them in the offseason. Like get some guys can really finish at the rim, can really create for themselves, can also hit like a mid-range or whatever the case may be, a pull-up, a back-to-the-basket game, right, or maybe a point of attack, right? So going into the offseason, that should be a point of emphasis for them. But, like, the Celtics and the 76ers, I see a lot of people saying, like y'all said, sweep. We thinking sweep? I don't know about sweep. I think they get a game or two.
No, I think Maxey. First of all, I do think if Embiid was healthy, I would have wanted him to more so go against Detroit just because of Embiid's inability as a defender, getting like kind of go out there and trying to defend at the 3-point line the way that you're going to have to do with Boston. But no, I don't know. I just think Boston, bro, they pieced together something crazy. Like what they've done on both sides of the floor is ridiculous. Tatum is like way better than what I thought he was going to end up being. And he doesn't even have to be who he was last season. He can be like just 80-90% of who he was. And I think that's enough as regardless of his first or second option to go up against a team like Philly. Maxey does concern me though as like a creator. He's struggled on last like 30 some games. So that bothers me. VJ's in experience also bothers me. And then you're asking then Paul George to kind of step up against a wing defensive set of Brown and Tatum, where I just don't think he's going to do that.
Pandemic fee.
Yeah, so I just don't see enough options for Philly to kind of. I don't even think if Philly got hot, they could even compete with them. I do think it's going to be a sweep.
Sweep. I mean, I think with that offensive firepower, like if you get them on a high night, they can maybe shoot you out of a building. So, I mean, I give them one game, right? Like think about it, they got so much firepower offensively. Like you get a good night from all of their guys. But yeah,
I just don't think it's going to happen though, because the team that they're matching up with can prevent them from doing those things. That's the biggest issue.
Exactly.
Okay. Moving on to we can go to the Raptors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Honestly, I think this is an interesting matchup in its own right, even though y'all probably don't think so. The Raptors, a lot of people are low on them. I mean, I kind of am, but at the same time, I'm like a lot. If I'm looking at the specific matchup, I'm like, okay, the Raptors, they get out in transition a ton. They don't even play in the half court. Cleveland is not a good defensive transition team. Like they're either middle of the pack or terrible. They actually allow teams to get into transition up. Like I think bottom 10 in the NBA. So, and Donovan Mitchell, against good defenses, he can get a little bit gimmicky himself. He can start turning the ball over. He can start turning into an offensive engine that he has been this year. And he gets away from the ball movement. He tries to do too much, put too much pressure on the rim, try to force himself in the rhythm. And like against Thompson defense, he drops bad. James Harden, like he's not the greatest scorer in the world anymore, like he used to be. And you know how he can get in isolation sometimes where he has cold nights. And Evan Mobley also, like the Raptors, they turn you over and they thrive off of that. So if they can kind of bog them down with their switchability and get Evan Mobley and these guys to turn the ball over, they can feast off that and probably get 2 games. I just don't trust them in the half court, and they're a terrible 3-point shooting team. So I think Cleveland is going. It's too much offense for them at sometimes in this series.
And go ahead, Law.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just not that high on what they're doing out there in Toronto. Sure, they get out in transition, but the reason why is because how bad they are in half court, so they need to get out in transition. And obviously, when in the playoffs, you go up against a team that can knock some shots down. You're going to have to slow it down and go in transition. And they also just don't match up really that well with them. Jakob Poeltl's going to have to play a lot of minutes in that. And from a slower footed standpoint, Harden is about to just do crazy things. Like it's,
Blame me on.
yeah, it's about to be ridiculous. So I don't know. Shout out to Scotty. I would love to see my biggest takeaway from this series though is to see what BI looks like, because if anything, he should be the one that kind of steps up, and he's looked really solid defensively throughout parts of this season. So I my biggest takeaway is going to be what BI looks like, but no, I got Cleveland in like 5 games.
Same. I think I same. I think that the only thing interesting is that the Cavs don't have a lot of wing depth. So the personnel for BI is probably gonna be what Jalen Tyson and Dean Wade. We're probably I don't know someone like that, like because they don't have like any shot creators in the half court, and that's really one of the biggest issues that they have is they don't have any solid creators that they can count on consistently in the half court sets. Because Scotty Barnes as a shot creator is not that yet. I don't think he's developed that aspect of his game just yet. But defensively they do have pretty good personnel. They have a lot of versatility. They can run a small ball that might cause the Cavs a little bit of a headache because of the two big lineups that they run. I've seen that they ran Scotty Barnes in Colin Murray Boyles at the 5 at times, and they find success because of the size advantage and the foot speed. But I think this is a fairly easy series for the Cavs. I think that they win in 5 games.
Well, let me ask you a question. Who do you think is a better defender, Scotty Barnes or Chet Holmgren?
Chet.
You don't think it's close, right?
Nah, probably not. No, Chet is like. I think Chet is underrated as a defender because of Wemby. If Wemby didn't exist, like I think Chet would actually have an argument for DPOY this year.
I agree, but the reason he's out on the reason why he's asking you is
you don't agree.
no. Time. The reason why he's asking you is because we talk. I'm literally telling him the reason why he's asking you that is because me and him had a breakdown yesterday where we were giving our all defensive teams, and I put Scotty in there, and we were talking about if Scotty was on OKC Thunder, right? How good would the OKC Thunder's defense still be? And I still said they would be an all-time great defense. Maybe not as good as they were with Chet, but they definitely still be an all-time great defense with Scotty Barnes.
You hear that?
Let's just say they'll be the best defense in the league. I don't think they'd be an all-time great defense.
No.
What's the cap on the all-time great defense though? What's the cap? What's like OKC right now?
8 points better than like league average, or 7, 8 better than league average.
So I'm saying, like he said, if you replace Chet Holmgren and Scotty Barnes,
so who's the 5? Hartenstein?
Yes.
Oh man, come on.
They wouldn't even be the best defense in the league.
Especially this season, without Hartenstein and J-Dub missed like a good portion of J-Dub didn't even play half the year.
Defensive.
You think with J-Dub missing half the year and Hartenstein also missing.
No. We're talking about fully healthy. No. We're talking about fully healthy.
Well, Chet just led the team to a better defense than last year in that scenario.
And he's a great defender. I'm not saying he's not better, but that defense will still be great even with Scotty Barnes in place of him. I think Chet is a better defender. I think Chet is still a great defender. It still be by far the best defense in the league right now.
No,
and your
the Pistons.
You think that Chet makes that much of a, there's that big of a difference between Chet and Scotty as a defender? Just because of the rim protection?
Yes.
I disagree.
I told him
we can move on. We can move on, bro.
Nah, but I'm really intrigued by this matchup though, because I think it's going 7 games. The Knicks and the Hawks, and I have a take as well. And we're supposed to make a video on this because I want the world to hear this, because I think this is facts. Nickeil Alexander-Walker is the Hawks' best player.
Oh my god! Oh, bro. Bro, why pull the nah shit right now? Because, bro, let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you something, low, right? Like during this offseason, right? I've known top for like 2 years, right? And specifically because about his Timberwolves takes, right? We talked about the Nickeil Alexander when he left to the Hawks, right? And he told me,
I forgot the connection. Okay,
let's listen. He said that Terrence Shannon Jr. and Bones Highland or Robert Dillingham were able to negate the loss of Nikhil Alexander, and now he's moved it over to Bones Highland and Iota Sumer. So now all this energy about Nikhil Alexander is coming out of absolutely nowhere because of the last couple of months of basketball that Nas, I think has locked in the MIP award. So shout out to him for that. But
for sure.
the fact that you're trying to say that he's the best player on the Hawks is, I'm sorry, he's not better than Jalen Johnson this season. He's not. I think he's a phenomenal player. I think he's brought a lot of value to the Hawks, and he's been one of the biggest reasons on why they've been able to be this good late in the season. But him saying that he's better than an All NBA caliber player in Jalen Johnson this season is absolutely fucking crazy work. Crazy
He
work.
is, and y'all will see because the data and the eye test tells me, bro. Like when I'm watching the Hawks, like when Jalen Johnson is on the floor by himself without Nikhil Alexander Walker, they have a negative net. They have a negative net rating, and they also in the offense is worse, like way worse. When Nikhil Walker's on the floor without Jalen Johnson, the offense is better. And when Nikhil Alexander Walker's on the floor with Jalen Johnson, their offense thrives. So that tells me that Nikhil Alexander Walker is their best offensive player. He's also a better defender than Jalen Johnson as well, right? He comes to this team, and this team is completely rejuvenized, right? They have the confidence to get rid of Trae Young, right? Because of his two-way ability, the way he can guard on the other side of the floor, right? The way that his three-point shot making, his rim finishing. Nikhil Alexander Walker is the best player on this team. It's just what it is. Like all the other guys, Okongwu stretch big, Dyson Daniels specialized defensive role. All the other guys, it's between two players, Jalen Johnson and Nikhil Alexander Walker. And the best player in the half court is Nikhil Alexander Walker. Their offense, the data tells me, the eye test tells me, if you put the ball in Nikhil's hands and you take Jalen Johnson off the floor, their offense is still good. When Jalen Johnson on the floor without Nikhil, their offense is awful. Awful. It's awful.
I need to see what I know. Nikhil in the last like 15-20 has been amazing. They also went on like a stretch of just mid teams, like terrible teams. But I do agree that like Nikhil is better than what people probably realize. I just would like to see him organize and be like the functional hub of an offense longer than just like stretches and on off moments. Like even Jalen Johnson, I think is a better defender than what he's been this season. But when you just thrust that type of offensive responsibility on him, like that's the reason why he's not been as good as a defender as he once was.
Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown.
Oh, okay. But I don't know. I agree that this series is going to be interesting. For other reasons beyond Atlanta, the whole thing that's going on in New York is just fascinating with their inability to kind of like get on the same page, in particular with Towns. However, I don't know if that's going to like really be as much as a detriment in this series because both Nikhil and Jalen are going to have to figure out how to just score consistently against Mikal and OG. And then if they decide to throw double big lineups out there, which they've been really successful on, if they throw double big lineups out there, then you're just kind of cooked at that point because then you're cutting off a lot of what they like to do when they get downhill. And then on the other side with Brunson, like if they play heavy minutes of Dyson, like there's somebody that he can just hide off on and not have to be that much of a concern. My biggest issue with Atlanta is just there's a lot of players that are far too like dependent on Jalen Johnson or even Nikhil at times to create for them. And then if that's not happening, then it's like that offense is going to look really, really, really bad. But they're probably going to have to play Dyson like 30 plus minutes to justify him being out there defending Jalen Brunson. So then Brunson doesn't have to defend. And then if you have Onyeka or really anybody else that what's his name can kind of hide on, because even though Onyeka is on paper he's a good 3-point shooter, he's gonna have to prove it to me. We're gonna have to see that happen.
I think this team reminds me a lot of the Raptors that who we just talked about. I think they have a better spacing situation. But
Yeah,
I think they remind me a lot of the Raptors, and they have the same similar flaws. But the fact that they've been able to even be in relevancy with losing Trae Young and bringing in a CJ McCollum who's done wonders for them. You know what I mean? Fuck him for he's a part of the reason why we have the 65 game minimum. So we gonna hold him to that. But in terms of just the court, he's been phenomenal for the Hawks this season.
You know why?
I got Knicks though. I had Knicks in 6. I agree it can be interesting, but I just think that I get concerned when your like best half court creator is Jalen Johnson, or even if you think it's Nikhil, and they're both like wing presence that will be guarded by OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. Like I just don't know what that's gonna look like.
I'm a little pressed. I think my gut is telling me New York should win, but I don't, bro. The only reason why I'm saying New York is going to win is because that PNR between Cat and Jalen Brunson have been really good, and they've finally figured that out the last couple of games. Matter of fact, they killed us when they played the Celtics, and they were able to run that against a really solid defense. So the Knicks should be able to pull this out, but the cockroaches, they might stink it up. You know what I mean? They ain't used to being the.
Okay.
Hey man, hey listen, hey you knew it right here, low. Hey listen, we have something we don't fuck with over here. The New York Knicks and the Miami Heat, and sometimes LA Lakers. You feel me? We might hit on.
Miami Heat used to have you in hell.
Hey bro, we haven't been had last time I checked, bro. We sent them packing home in the first round. They've been a first round exit the last couple of years. They won the battle. They won the battle. We won the war. That's all I gotta say, man.
For sure.
When the Heat dropped in to that 9-10 matchup, he was praising the Lord. He was,
I want us to get. You know what? If I got Miami in the first round, then I got the Knicks in the second. Oh, my life will be complete. We don't even got to win a championship. I'm good. I'm good with that. And a gap year, by the way, a gap year. You feel me? That's what we doing in a gap year. You feel me?
Let me tell you something.
Hey, let's get. I'm ready for the second.